Have you ever wondered if there was scientific proof that God existed? We're often told that science and faith are opposite sides of the battlefield. But what if they're actually pointing to the same truth from different angles? What if quantum physics, the most mysterious and advanced branch of modern science, isn't disapproving God, but it actually what led me to believe? Let me share what happened. I wasn't always certain about God. In fact, I questioned everything. Why are we here? Is this life just random? Are we just bodies made out of atoms with no deeper meaning? And because I'm naturally curious, I dove into science, especially quantum physics, thinking it would give me the answer. What I found didn't just change what I knew, it transformed what I believed. Hey family, welcome to Faith, Wisdom, and Knowledge. If you're new here, I'm truly glad you're here. And if you've been walking this journey with me for a while, welcome back. You already know this is a space where we go beyond surface answers and dive deep into the truth, purpose, and the presence of God in everything. Today's message is close to my heart because I'm sharing how studying quantum physics actually led me to believe in God. It may sound surprising, but when science met my spirit, something awakened in me. And I believe it will speak to something in you too. So stay with me all the way to the end, because by the time we're done, I think you'll see this universe and yourself in a whole new light. Let's begin. As I kept learning, one particular experiment completely shifted my understanding of reality. It's called the Double Slit Experiment, and it's one of the strangest and the most fascinating discoveries in quantum physics. It showed that particles, tiny building blocks of matter, don't behave like solid objects. They behave like waves of probability until someone observes them. When no one is watching, the particles isn't here or there. It's in every possible place. But the moment we observe it, it collapses into one single outcome. This blew my mind because it suggested something radical. Consciousness affects reality. Now, let's pause for a second, because I know consciousness is one of those words people throw around but rarely explain. So hear what it means. Consciousness is your awareness. It's the inner voice you hear when you think. It's the part of you that knows you're alive, that reflects, questions, and experiences the world. It's not just your brain, but the ability to observe your own thoughts. For example, when you're watching the sunset and you feel something deep in your chest, when you hear music and suddenly you're in tears, remembering a moment from years ago, that's consciousness. It's what allows you to experience beauty, pain, love, and wonder. And here's the powerful part. Scientists can study your brain waves, but they can't measure your actual experience. That's why many believe consciousness doesn't come from the body. It's something deeper. Some call it the soul, some call it the spirit, but whatever word you use, it points to the truth that we're more than just biology. Consciousness affects reality. Observation brings something into being. And I had to ask myself why. Why would reality wait for us to observe it before it becomes real? That one question opened a floodgate. If reality is shaped by consciousness, then consciousness isn't just part of the universe, it's essential to it. I started to believe science and spirituality not as opposites, but as partners. Physics was showing me a world that was interconnected, intelligent, and full with mysteries. And my heart was saying, this isn't random, this is design. That was my turning point, not because someone preached it to me, but because science revealed too much intentionality for me to deny it. Let's take a further step. The universe is fine-tuned to support life. If gravity was even slightly stronger or weaker, just by 1 in 10 to the 60th power, life as we know it wouldn't exist. It's like flipping a coin and landing heads 10 quintillion times in a row. Science can't measure the probability, but it can't explain why it happens anyways. Faith can. Now, I'm not here to give you a gotcha proof. I know that the belief in God isn't a math equation. But I am saying this. Studying quantum physics opened my eyes to the possibility that this universe is not a cold accident. It's a meaningful design. And I believe that design comes from a mind, not a machine. I look at the symmetry in a snowflake, the rhythm in waves, the beauty of a sunset, And I don't just see nature, I see intention. I see a creator who wove his fingerprints into everything. And even though quantum physics doesn't give me a Bible verse, it helped me realize that something greater must be holding all this together. And I've come to believe that something is God. Not a God of superstition, not a God of fear, but the source of all life and love, the very mind behind the matter. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That word means logic, intelligence, divine order. It's as if the Bible and quantum physics are both telling the same story. The universe isn't just atoms bouncing around in space. It's a living, breathing expression of something eternal. So, if you ever question faith because you trust science, I understand. I did too. But I want to offer you this thought. Science describes how the universe works. Faith helps us understand why it exists at all. Quantum physics doesn't disapprove God. It helped me meet him. So I say this to the skeptic, the searcher, and the soul in between. There's more to life than what we can see, more to truth than what we can test, and more to you than atoms and algorithms. You are not random. You are deeply loved, because behind this universe is God. So keep asking, keep exploring, and above all, keep listening to that still quiet voice within you, because that's often where God speaks the loudest. Thank you for spending this time with me today. And until next time, stay rooted in faith, open in wisdom, and always guided by divine knowledge. If this message spoke to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more spirit-led truths rooted in reason. And if you're ready to keep going, head over to my playlist, Divine Wisdom Lectures and Bible Verses. You'll find teachings to help you go deeper in faith and understand the spiritual layers behind your everyday experience. Hope to see you in the next video.